Yo, what's good everybody? This video is going to go slightly in depth on how to get better mechanics, where you might be going wrong, why you might not be seeing as much improvement as you want, and how to practice efficiently. If you end up enjoying the video, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like. If you didn't really like it, drop a dislike. I'm not going to be hurt. All I ask is that you watch the video all the way through because each point builds on the last. You might miss some crucial information if you decide to skip around. But I split the video into chapters if you really do want to skip around. With that being said, let's get right into it. Okay, so the background footage right now are my mechanics, just a little free build I did before the video. This is just to show my improvements so far applying these tips over time. No matter your skill level, better or worse than mine at the moment, if you apply even half of these effectively, I promise you'll see significant improvement, both for creative and comp players. Keep in mind the background footage from here on out will be pros or other good players that I've personally seen applying these tips. Alright, so first, let's define mechanics. The term mechanics consists of three basic things: building, editing, and aim. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the building and editing aspect. One thing people often forget is that mechanics isn't just the best aim or the flashiest builds. It's being able to use all three of these skills at the same time to eliminate someone as fast as possible and while taking the least amount of damage as possible. So right now, just take a second, think to yourself, how often do I win my fights? Think about when you fight bad players, when you fight good players. Think about when you're playing your best, and when you're playing your worst. Now just note that general skill level and keep it in the back of your head so you can somewhat track your improvement. Okay, now with all that out the way, let's get into the first tip. This one is 100% my opinion, and you're welcome to disagree, but stop doing edit courses, or at least stop relying on them. They're not the best way to improve or warm up your edits, and they're not that efficient. Instead, start free building. Wait, before you click off the video, I know everyone already free builds. You probably do it every time you get on, but let me ask you this. Why is it you see pros free building all the time, but when you do it, you don't see any improvement? The answer? Your mindset. 9 times out of 10 when I see somebody free building, they're doing the same move over and over and moving at the same speed. Try to push yourself to learn new moves and do everything faster and more precise. When you're free building to practice, you should be messing up. If you really don't know what to do to push yourself, you still don't understand what I'm saying, here are some ideas. Start practicing triple edits. Don't just spam your edit button. Think about your crosshair placement, your building and edit timing, as well as your movement. Try to hit as many in a row as possible. Once you're done, just throw a cone under you instead of a ramp and see how many quad edits you can hit in a row. Learn some new high ground retakes. No, you might not end up doing them during a fight, but by learning them, it will improve your crosshair placement and your movement, as well as your building accuracy. Any retake will work, from basic to advanced. If you want, I can make a standalone video, just drop a comment. Try not to just do random moves though, do things with a purpose. Think about what you're going to do before you do it. Try to throw in some shooting as well while imagining someone is there. Throw in a few moves you find yourself doing or messing up a lot when fighting. For example, you could free build, pretend like you full block someone, make a peanut butter edit, and try to shoot where you think someone is most likely to be. To end this tip off, I just want to point out, although it's important to push yourself to go faster, don't be afraid to slow down and look at why you're messing up or look at what peak is best in a certain situation. I often find myself replaying a certain scenario and trying out many peaks, thinking of if my opponent can see my whole body or just part of it. Okay, that took a little longer to explain than I thought. I'll try my best to keep the other tips a bit shorter. So what's the best way to practice? Well, actually, it's a bit different for everyone. When it comes down to it, Fortnite is just a game. If you're not having fun, you're not going to be able to practice nearly as long. Maybe you really enjoy playing your music on full blast and just free building for hours. Or maybe you can do that for a maximum of 5 minutes. I suggest you try out lots of different things to see what is both effective and fun for you. Personally, I've been getting into drafts. Drafts are when you grab 4 people, 6 people, or 8 people, and you run 2s, 3s, or 4s in Zone Wars. The catch is, you either run random teams, or you run team captains to make some interesting matchups with people who otherwise wouldn't be on a team together, or who wouldn't be going against each other. A few other things are build fights, 1v1 Zone Wars against set teams, realistics, FFA, or even just arena. There's so many things. The main thing is that you're not getting too comfortable, and you're pushing yourself to get better, while also having fun. I know I mentioned it in both tips prior, but it's getting its own tip. Be careful to not fall into your comfort zone. You will not get better if you keep fighting the same people over and over. You will not get better if you keep dropping 2 kill wins. Push yourself to find better opponents and drop higher kills. if you need help finding different people to play with or against, I would recommend Scrim Discords. Most Scrim Discords have a looking for players channel where you can look for people of many different skill levels to play with or against. If you're NA East, I would recommend East Open, West Open for West players, and you guessed it, EU Open for EU players. There might be better Discords, but I'll leave links to these ones in the description. This is probably going to be the shortest one, but just don't be afraid to learn. Just drop your ego and think. When you die, you should ask yourself why. Was it a bad peek, bad aim? Or was I putting myself in a bad position? If you really don't know, you can ask somebody else. When I'm 1v1ing someone better than me or even equal skill level to me, I find myself asking them what they think I should have done. People with different perspectives will always surprise you with their answers. Even when watching, let's say, a montage, I'm subconsciously looking for things I could implement in my own gameplay. Specific moments, specific moves, or retakes. Just the other day, I saw this really nice peek that I saw Tayson doing, and I started applying it into my game, and I ended up doing way better in Arena. Just make sure you're always trying to learn. Okay, so this is the last tip. Real quick, I'd like to thank you if you watched the whole video till this point, and I know I enjoyed making it. I've always thought about this type of stuff, but I've never had to put it into words. So do me a favor and tell me if you like this type of content. It takes a while to make, but I kind of enjoy it. You may have guessed, but the last tip is consistency. In the last few tips, it might have sounded like you have to practice every single day for hours and hours, but that's really just not the case. If you do though, and you constantly apply these tips, you'll see massive improvement within even just a few days. For the rest of us, the people with lives, even just 2 times a week for 20 or 30 minutes when you first hop on or when you're getting off, it's just perfectly fine. Your improvement is always based on you though. You should experiment on what works best for you, and once you find that thing, abuse it. This is going to be the most cringe thing I've ever said, but happy grinding, boys, and let me see you turn into some demons. No, I'm never saying that shit again.